Okay, this is your chance to finally make a real friend. Don't mess this up. Do not mess this up.
What's up, man? Nice to meet you.
You too. So, what made you move down here to Austin?
Just wanted something different. Thought I'd meet some cool people, make some friends here.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, what do you like to do?
Oh, me? Well, I'm pretty into self-improvement.
Self what?
Self-improvement, like meditating, journaling, lifting weights.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I actually need to do more of that stuff. Do you do anything else?
Sometimes I game, watch anime, just normal stuff.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah, what about you?
When I'm not with my girlfriend, I'm usually out at the bars with my buddies, playing hockey at my local rec league, or studying for my college degree.
Damn, that's nice, man. Sweet. Do you ever wonder what the point of it all is? Why we exist? What we can do to live a spiritually fulfilling life? And how we can stop the endless cycle of doom and hatred that seems to be plaguing human existence?
I'm gonna go now.
You can't really connect with anyone. It's why you clicked on this video, and it's probably why this conversation resonated with you. Every time you try to connect deeply with someone and create a fulfilling friendship, you can never really get to the point of depth you're looking for. So the question is, are you the problem, or is everyone else just too boring and average? Before we tackle that, I think we need to understand what it even really means to connect with someone, because that's quite ambiguous. To explain, let's imagine a situation similar to the story at the start. You've just moved to a new city and you want to make some friends. Despite your efforts, you've had tons of trouble in the past with creating a strong, lasting bond. But maybe, just maybe, this time will be the time. You're getting ready for a hiking group event that interests you, and you found it through the app called Meetup. Hiking is an outdoor activity that involves both exercise and a challenge, and you like both of these things. So it's a no-brainer to try to go to a place with like-minded people. When you arrive, there's a good mix of both women and men, but you feel more comfortable talking to the guys first. You introduce yourself to a few of them, and they introduce themselves back before you start on the hike. As you slowly make your way up the trail, you're asking the usual questions. What do you do? Where are you from? What made you get into hiking? Pretty surface level stuff. And they're answering the questions as basic as any other time you've tried to make friends, so it's not looking up for you. If this keeps up, it'll be another, oh yeah, I'll definitely hit you up again, then meet up maybe once more after this, then never see each other again. But just before you're about to lose hope, one of the guys asks a more personal question. In regards to something you were saying, he replies, yeah man, just last year I was at my lowest point. I was 280 pounds, could barely fit in my office chair, lost my girlfriend and my job, and spent every night crying myself to sleep. I was pretty damn close to ending it all, but then I found my passion for hiking. I could only start by getting a couple hundred feet up the mountain, but slowly and surely, I kept improving. That sense of improvement snowballed into other areas of my life, and I started eating better, working towards my career goals, and doing more fulfilling things. And that's how I became the slightly muscular hiking dude you see in front of you. Have you guys ever felt hopeless like that? Your eyes light up, and you get a certain tingle through your brain and body, and you feel the urge to immediately respond. Absolutely, it's tough to have these conversations with others, especially someone you've just met, but I've felt that same hopelessness you just described. After explaining your life journey in more detail, you realize that you and that dude actually have a lot more in common than his outward appearance had led you to believe, and you end up consistently hanging out and developing a truly deep connection. So there's a couple things we can dissect from this story in relation to connecting with others. Firstly, connecting with others means that they are producing a certain emotional response out of you. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I have these rare instances where I feel this slight tingle throughout my brain and my body when I connect with someone and we share the same interest or passion in something. It's almost like your whole body metaphorically illuminates and it knows that you just made a real connection. And the second thing that we can dissect is that connecting with someone almost always has to involve feeling more understood than your usual conversation. The person or people you're connecting with don't even necessarily have to have that much in common with you or look like you at all. But at some level, you have to have shared something that has produced a visceral emotional feeling out of both of you. And examples of that are like the one in the story, where you have both gone through some sort of hardship or pain, or you both share a similar passion. So overall, Overall, connecting with someone is feeling like you belong and are understood at a deeper level than most of your interactions. Knowing this, we can now ask the question, why can't you get to the point where you really connect with someone? Well, instead of going over the reason most people attribute this lack of connection to, which is the fact that you might be hanging with the wrong people who don't share any of the same values or interests as you, I want to go over 2 reasons as to why you can't connect with most people that you can actually work on improving. Because the whole "I don't have anything in common" narrative, while as true as that might be, becomes much less valid when you listen closely and intently to these 2 reasons that I'm going to go over. And the first reason is that you focus too much on the negative in people. Since I've been making these videos on building relationships with others for the past year or so now, I've had loads of comments that follow a similar structure. They say my advice is fine, but most people are just too boring and superficial to develop a genuine connection with. Later on in the video, I'm gonna prove why this is partly true, but a lot of people's distastes towards other humans just come from an overly nitpicky mindset. If almost everyone is too boring, superficial, or annoying, is everyone the problem, or are you the problem? Let me know if this sounds familiar. You meet someone new and you can't wait to have them as a new friend. They're fun to be around, easy to get along with, and you're so excited to know someone so cool. But as you get closer, you realize that it's not all that good. They've got flaws, opinions you disagree with, or they've upset you a couple times. So naturally, you pull back and you feel disillusioned. This is a problem on your end. Of course, you'd want to distance yourself from genuinely people who don't have your best interest at hand and are just trying to use you for something, but that's not at all what I described in this story here. You should want a friend who you can have healthy disagreements with. When you have someone who can challenge your ideas, who lives a slightly different life that you don't necessarily agree with, it allows you to grow as a person. And that's a big part of what developing a real connection with someone is about, helping each other grow in a positive way and listening to each other. But why does your brain automatically revert to seeing the negative in someone after a while? Well, if you've been wronged by too many people in the past and you've developed trust issues, your brain is going to be programmed to search for and nitpick the negative in others as a way to ensure your happiness and, at the most primal of levels, help you survive. It also could be due to the fact that you can't accept the negative within yourself and you try to repress it as much as possible. This is a concept I've talked about in my video on shadow work. What we see and project onto our outer worlds, in many cases, is a direct reflection of how we feel about those things within ourselves. For example, if you detest somebody and get super triggered at them because they are bad at texting you back and returning your calls, it could be because you refuse to believe that you can be exactly like this too. You become so busy with something that you too forget to be the friend that you're looking for in someone else. And that, paired with being hurt too many times in the past, can make you always assume the worst in any scenario where you can potentially create a lasting friendship. The next time you start to feel yourself looking for all the red flags in someone, immediately ask yourself, is this person really trying to use me or wreak havoc to my life? Or are the areas of my brain that search for danger just being hyperactive? Then ask yourself, what could be the real motives behind this person disagreeing with me, challenging me, or not being as responsive as I'd like them to be? When you give yourself the space and time to answer these questions, you'll usually realize that this person has just as many flaws, insecurities, and problems as you, and that they're just unaware that these even exist in them in the first place. Real connection is damn near impossible without applying this line of thinking and accepting the other person's flaws. And that only becomes possible if you can calmly evaluate why they are acting that way, express it to them if it's something that is bothering you and that they can change, and accept those same flaws within yourself. Because real, genuine connection is built upon trust, vulnerability, and acceptance. And that leads me to what is most likely the biggest factor as to why you have trouble really connecting with people, which is that you're emotionally unavailable. At its most basic form, being emotionally unavailable means you're not comfortable feeling your own emotions, sharing emotions with others, or being present and responsive to someone else's emotions. Now, this can develop for many different reasons later down the line in your life, such as a traumatic breakup or how your peers treated you growing up. But if you've had this problem since you were a small kid, it's most likely due to the family environment you found yourself in. Again, let me know if this sounds familiar to you. Growing up, your family was more heavily focused on surface level closeness that revolved around crisis, chaos, or issues with the outside world. Your parents were always financially or mentally stressed and put their emotional problems on you. They may have even required you to try and fix them. As a result, one or both of your parents controlled the entire tone of your house. If they were sad, everybody was sad. If they were happy, everybody was happy. And what happens because of this is that you never truly develop a sense of self. You don't have a clue what your emotional needs are because you were never properly cared for and attended to. And so you're taught to close off your emotions and never allow yourself the opportunity to feel them at the expense of establishing true self-depth. Many people have struggled with and were brought up to do the exact same thing. In fact, I think it's more people than we care to admit. We are all taught to some extent to focus on the more superficial areas of life, whether unconsciously through the things we consume on a daily basis or consciously. Because for some people who work insane hours, are constantly taking care of others, or have other surface level worries that they are required to put their full attention on in order to live, it never even crosses their mind to explore what it really is that they want and need. What this creates is a society full of individuals who are mentally and physically incapable of exploring the depths of others because they've never given themselves the opportunity to explore their own depths. The only time a lot of people feel a real connection is when they get the opportunity to explore that depth, like the story of the hiking guy where he opened up and was vulnerable and he encouraged the hypothetical you to be vulnerable. It seems to rarely happen, but it is absolutely possible for you to connect with more people if you can start to ask the difficult questions regarding yourself. Because when you know yourself better, you can more easily communicate who you are, what your boundaries look like, and you can give yourself the love and affection that you may have never experienced. And when that happens, not only can you give that to others more easily, but it will also encourage them to open up to you too. So here's what I want you to do. In a journal, I want you to ask yourself these questions. What parts of myself do I like? What parts of myself do I dislike? And what parts of myself do I judge? After these more general questions, to get more in tune with your emotions, I want you to do this. At some point in every day, just pause and ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? And what is my body trying to tell me? Again, write your response down in a journal and take action upon it if you can. Or just simply listen to the feeling. Emotional discomfort, like physical pain, is a sign that you need to attend to something. Likewise, pleasurable emotions let us know what we want more of, who we want to spend more time with, and what type of boundaries we should set. The more you can pick up on why you feel a certain way and the mental and physical signs that are associated with it, the more that you can tune your life to your own subjective wants and needs. And when you continuously explore the depths of your own inner psyche, you indirectly gain a better understanding of others and learn how to pick up on their emotional cues. With this skill, you can break past simple small talk and push through to a deeper connection with someone, even if you don't have a lot in common with that person. Because deep down, at the core of every human, once we get past all the different beliefs, goals, and intentions each individual has, we all share practically the same desire, which is the desire to be understood, validated, and respected. And no matter how boring someone might seem on the surface, if you can learn the skill to get others to open up by first opening up yourself, you'll realize that there is so much more depth to the average human than you had thought. Now, even after consistently applying this, you'll still meet a ton of people who are unwilling to do this with you, or their beliefs and lifestyles will just not align with yours at all. But I promise you, there are plenty of people out there who have the same interests and goals as you, who, with the right amount of time and the right conversations, will start to make you feel like you have a genuine connection with them. But it starts with you and the work you're willing to put into yourself first. If you're trying to explore the depths of yourself in far more detail and create a fulfilling life that allows you to confidently go after what you want, then you should check out my Ultimate Self-Mastery course. The Ultimate Self-Mastery course is a holistic approach to strengthening your self-awareness, accepting your flaws, building better habits, and creating a fulfilling life. And a ton of the members who have already joined the course have already seen a massive difference in their lives. Like Nikolai, who figured out why he would get so angry at his mom in the shadow work section, or Owen, who has successfully been sober for 2 weeks now. The course features 14 videos, worksheets, a guided meditation, and an exclusive community where we all hold each other accountable and give each other advice. We also just started meeting in a video group coaching call at least once a month too. So if you're interested in seeing if the course is right for you, go to cole-hastings.com/self-mastery or just click the first link in the description. And as always, thank you to all my patrons on this channel on Patreon. That is where you can get exclusive content from me or talk to me one-on-one over the phone. I have plenty of other videos on this channel channel. In fact, I have a whole playlist on how you can start to build relationships with others and become more socially competent. If you want to check that out, it is right here. And with that, I'm done. Hope the video helped. I'll see you guys, and I love you.